So. Kind of free. Rock and roll. All right. You gonna set a record tonight? Roll call. Try. I gotta make up 3 minutes. Let's see. Roger. Here. Jessica.
Present.
Mike. Here. Mark. Here. Patrick. Here. Paul. And Jacob. Here. Need to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll wait
Of
till
the November meeting.
I have a question. I wasn't here, but would that, should that be wastewater treatment plant? Or is it plant?
I couldn't
Yeah,
remember,
Mark.
Second page under Granger,
but the minutes reflect Paul's here.
Wastewater plant. I don't think. Plan. Are we talking about what, the wastewater plant or plant?
Second paragraph under Granger.
oh, first paragraph under, second line under Granger.
It's the study for kind of an overall,
So it is a plan.
I'd say it's a plan,
Okay.
yes. Yes,
Thank you.
I wasn't here, so I was just,
I was the one that asked for it.
Roger stands for it.
we had a motion.
I moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the November 9th.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Hey, George, do we have the oath of office thing?
So,
He took.
yes, it was
You did.
provided, Pat signed it, but I just figured we needed
Okay, to
to
formally
mention it
say
in
it
the
happened.
in the minutes that it was completed and.
Yeah, we drafted it for Pat,
As long as he's
sign it
all.
and attest to it, so he is fully sworn in.
I don't know,
Oh,
the
he's-
copy I
he's
received
all of
wasn't
the-
signed, so.
It was DocuSign. I had my assistant do it. Just negotiating his term limit.
They're doing going in.
He asked me about the pay and then refused to sign it.
Yeah, you try not to tell him about that, though, it's too late. All right, report of officers.
We have our financial report. Our claims for the month of December total $52,161.99. Our balances through November 30th are as follows for Auten. 60,087. For Wyatt, 79,504. Granger, $482,479. Carriage Hills is $181,502, and the general is showing a negative 11,787, but that is the the deposits have not been recorded yet, but the balances are actually positive in the account because the bills haven't gone out until those get recorded. And the ones on November, I'm just gonna say, I'm not sure why it's not reflecting the bank account. I swear I went to First Source Bank and deposited them. I know the person that took the money came from somewhere else and just stuck it in a desktop. So I'm wondering if it got forgotten about. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we may have to just redeploy the checks and redo them because the checks haven't cleared the bank. Yes.
Okay.
It was one of those where, okay. It was a very interesting transaction. He opened the door and there's just money sitting in it and he walked away and I'm sitting in there with,
The bag.
yeah, I mean, going, not thinking that was the best practice for a bank institution, but okay.
Hold them with your trustworthy look.
Yes. Anyway, we ask your approval of the funding report and claims, please.
I make a motion to approve the accounts payable ledger of $52,161.99.
Second.
I have a first and I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're good to go. Okay, request to extend services. Customer inquiries.
I would add, in theory, this would have been in the treasurer's report, and I will send it out to each of you so you have record of it, but we did have, December first is our annual report to USDA for the projected upcoming year's budget. So we submitted those forms on December first to USDA, and I'll provide for Carriage Hills and Wyatt to you, email for your information.
Then, discussion of the district policies concerning capital assets, internal controls.
So we have started to draft that. I've asked Steve Carter to give us some additional guidance. I haven't gotten that yet. But I anticipate that at the next meeting, we should have a presentation.
Steve has been buried in audit timeframes. Just to let you know, you got off the hook a little bit because they had a list of information they wanted, so we have been providing that information to them, so they have not scheduled the exit interview yet. I'll let you know.
I kept wondering when it was gonna get a team meeting call for that.
We were trying to do it last Thursday, but then they came back and wanted random bank statements, and I had to get with South Bend to get a couple customer billing copies, all kinds of different requests. So that's what we've been working on this week. And I think Steve has uploaded most of the information to the exchange, but they haven't reached out to schedule the exit interview yet.
I got a email from somebody about a bunch of fraud protection and blah, blah, blah questions. I probably should forward that on to you. We can come up with a viable answers to some of those questions.
What's getting audited?
We used to be audited on an annual basis when State Board of Accounts was more readily active here in this building. And after, I want to say maybe the first 2 or 3 audits, they then, when I say they, I'm assuming State Board of Accounts changed their policy on how frequently they were auditing special districts. And so now it's about every 5 to 6 years, which is, it's problematic. It is too long. We can actually ask for a quicker audit, and we may do so just because with transition of things. The last time it happened, it wasn't as big of a deal because we really hadn't changed any of our services, and I was still here with credible access to everything. This particular audit, our billings went from 2 different companies. I mean, there's been a lot of changes to where then they asked for just a specific detail on a very specific date, and you got to be able to pull that up. And, trying to go back through Whiteman Petrie's information and or Asbury's information and South Bend's information from Carriage Hills. It's been a little more fun, and typically the persons doing our audits are usually, this is their learning
A curve.
curve. So
We
that
can
makes it
do
even
the
more
account.
challenging. I mean, Steve and I, on the last call that we were on, because they were asking for certain things that the district they felt should have done, and I had to proceed to read Indiana code to them that says that's not applicable in this. They wanted where we sent out notices in the paper and solicited for services for all of our professional services. You don't have to do that. So, those are the conversations we're having.
So that's an ongoing audit that we're getting close to wrapping up,
Yes,
and that's for the RWSD.
it is just for the entire district. Yes.
And when was it, the audit?
The
prior to
period, our last audit was in 2018 for 2017 through 2012, and this is 2018 through 2022.
That was all 5 years too. Thank you.
Yes,
Fun stuff.
it's wonderful.
Yeah, and a lot of the questions I got are like, I suppose if we had employees, these would matter.
Right.
The whistleblower thing, I don't know. We'd have to actually have an employee to have a whistleblower. But we'll send you that.
It's the same question, same format. We go through it, the township,
Yes.
but usually the township is no more than 2, maybe 3 years. I went through 3. Yeah.
I've not really looked at that email very closely since it came in late last week, since we did sort of kind of almost went live on Friday, and I've been fighting it, so I'm doing nothing but that.
And I actually appreciate annual audits just because one, the information's fresher too. It's just easier to retrieve, but I mean, I have all bank statements. I just had to be able to have enough time to come in the building and go through the archives to pull out a bank statement from 2018. It's more just the hassle of it.
Yeah, well, we will survive that. And so we'll deal with the assets and controls maybe next meeting. Meeting schedule for.
Yeah, and I apologize because I fully meant to have actually distributed that, and in my brain I did, but I didn't, so. We can do it in January, but just to, if the board would take action to approve. Well, I was gonna say, if the board would take action to approve that we have our meeting on January 11th, that would be wonderful.
And I guess the main thing is George needs to verify, because I will not be here January, February, March, chasing the sun.
And I won't be here
Okay,
that day.
okay.
Yeah, let me verify that you guys can participate via Teams or Zoom and vote remotely.
I mean,
I don't even know if I'll be
right, accessible.
accessible.
Would February be
internet
better?
meetings?
I mean, because we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
necessarily have to have a meeting in January if it's a problem from a quorum standpoint and.
Zoom's fine for me.
But I'll be here for February and March is.
And so in
April,
January,
you'll be
the
here.
beach you're on doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Well, let's put it this way, I may be partaking in some libation at that time.
Having a darty
so-
on that day.
He could be kind of interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
So, I said if we would entertain then approving it to have the meeting January 11th, I guess, subject to George's findings on voting procedures.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And with that motion for our
January 11th.
January 11th meeting,
Figure the rest of them out. At that point. On to districts, Granger.
Are we gonna have a report tonight on, the grandiose wastewater treatment plan? How about February?
Are we talking about in Wyatt?
No,
Oh,
Tom Granger,
Okay,
Steve and, yeah, that might. I don't know, I guess we could, you want to provide an update on when you.
Steve mentioned getting together at our last meeting, and what happened was we didn't.
No, I know, and I said,
Yeah.
he's been tied up in the audience
Excuse me.
with all of the districts over the last month.
But yeah, he's got all the information. He had a couple questions he said regarding the, I don't even remember what it was, but in order for him to establish his rates. And that's where we are.
I think February is a good goal. Sure, that was Steve.
Here, Hill.
Or-
Wyatt.
Or anything from Waste Management? What?
crickets, absolute crickets.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, at
Right,
least they're consistent.
that's right. No, easy part, area plan. County surveyor. Oh, county health,
No report.
at least we get a report. County engineer, about old business.
I could report, sorry, under old business as far as for the. Kind of the update, you were asking where the study is. The feasibility, looking at wastewater treatment plants in. Really the northeast area is, we'll say like 95% complete. They're looking to schedule a meeting with the county engineer to go over the findings and kind of finalize that, the recommendation or the information. drinking water protection plan, went through a quality control, their edits. Right, give me text as I'm doing this here. So it's probably within 30 or so days before it may go back maybe to the health department also. For comments and review along with the county engineer. Where is that?
New business. Goes to the floor. Our young lady doesn't want to talk. Apparently not. Don't blame her.
She doesn't wanna be here.
And I just note, the
That's
meeting
really
is
not an,
January 11th, 2024. Didn't change my date.
what's that?
The meeting is 2024, not 2023.
No. Okay. All right, call for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion. One second. Second. Second, all those in favor, stand up.
Yeah. Have a good dinner, George.
See you, George.
Thank you.
If I don't see you guys, have a happy holiday. I'll send out an email tomorrow about the, that January